Hey, fifth grade friends, this is Miss Stacy. We are reviewing Tuesday's homework. Select the value of each decimal when rounded to the nearest whole number. So we are going to underline the whole number in each value, and the whole number is going to be in the ones place. So we always look at the neighbor to the right, and that number is going to tell us, the value is going to tell us whether to rest or soar. So we're looking at the 5, and the 5 is going to tell us to let that 9 soar. So we're going to add 1, so this would be 10, and everything to the right becomes a 0. So rounded to the nearest whole number, the value would be 10. Okay, look to the right, that 1 tells us to let it rest. So this is 9, and everything to the right is 0. Look to the right, 3 is going to tell the 9 to rest. So 9 stays the same. Everything to the right becomes a 0. So it's a value of 9. 5 tells the 9 to soar. So we add 1. Everything to the right becomes a 0. So the rounded value is 10. The 8 tells the 9 to soar to 10. Everything to the right is a 0. And so rounded, it would be 10. A lawn mowing company has 200 lawns to mow. If they mow 1/5 of them on Wednesday, how many lawns will they mow? So we're looking for the number of lawns that they're going to mow. We're going to have a total of 200, and they want to do 1/5 of them. So we want to complete 1/5 of the total of 200 on Wednesday. So we know that this will be 1/5 times 200, and it's 200 over 1. So 200 over 1, multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators, and then we divide. 5 can go into 24 times, and 5 can go into 240 times. So there will be 40 lawns to mow on Wednesday. That's a lot of lawns. All right, so we're going to a birthday party, and at that birthday party, Mason received 1.28 pounds of candy, and Jerry received 2.05 pounds of candy. How many pounds of candy did they receive altogether? So we know we're going to add, and when we add decimals, we need to stack them and line up the decimal points, and then all place values. So we have 13, 3, and 3, and we bring that decimal point back in the value. So altogether, they received 3 32/100 pounds of candy. So a little over 3 pounds. All right, let me get this back up here because it is frozen. All right, so again, 3 33/100 pounds of candy when you add it all together. All right. Point D is 4 units away from the origin on the y-axis. What could be the coordinates of point D? So we know that whenever we have coordinates, we have the x value always first, and it's always on the x-axis that we travel to the right. And the second value would be the y value or y coordinate on the y-axis, which we travel up. So if we want the y-axis to equal 4, we want to know what coordinates would point D be at. So we need to make sure that y is equal to 4, and this one is equal to 4. So that means that the x value will be 0. So A is the answer. For a class project, Tabitha collected 15.5 pounds of recyclables. If Jessica collected 5 times as much as Tabitha, how many pounds of recyclables did Jessica collect? So we know that we have some, which is 15.5 pounds, but we know that Tabitha has 5 times as much, so we would multiply times 5. So when we rewrite vertically, We don't have to line up the decimals or the place values. So we multiply like they are both whole numbers. So this would be 25, this would be 27, and that would be 7. And then our decimal place is going into the tenths. So 77.5 pounds of recyclables were collected. An expression is described in words. Create the expression using numbers and symbols. Find 1/6 the sum of 13 and 5. So we know that we're going to have the sum of these two values. That means we're going to be adding 13 and 5 because it's the sum of 13 and 5. And we want to find 1/6 of that. So that means we want only part of what we have. So it would be 1/6 times, and you have to put the 13 plus 5 in parentheses. Another way that you could write would be 1 times, and 13 plus 5 must be in parentheses, over 6. All right, guys, till next time.